Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel, and today we have got a beverage of choice which happens to be coffee, not Irish, even though I am Irish, but it's not a Irish coffee. In fact, it's just a regular coffee. But today I want to talk to you guys about something that I think is going to help all of you, so please bear in mind. I'm just going to angle it, much better. Please bear in mind that this video is not aimed at anyone in particular. It's not aimed at any person or things of that. It's not aimed at anyone in particular, but it's aimed at people in particular, if you get what I'm saying. Now, I am going to show you guys some very important tips that you can follow in World of Tanks that's going to make you a better player. And it's not that hard. Okay, you don't have to learn any hard mechanics, giggity, or anything like that. You just got to follow some simple steps. So, without further ado, hello. What you're looking at is my my EU account, sorry. And yes, I did recently purchase the Panther. We had a really good few games in the Panther, and we have basically got a lot of things researched for it, because we went down previous lines like see, VK Panther E100, Jag Panther 2. I got this engine because I do have the Jag Panther 2, which is a collector's vehicle, but the engine and a few other things, because it's based on the Jag Panther chassis system. All Panthers use the same engine, so VK 3001, 3002M. I'm gonna sneeze. And so I had that unlocked, same as certain. I'm gonna sneeze again. Same as certain guns unlocked as well, at the 7.5. This one you get unlocked from the Panther 2 in E50. So it's a gun that's going to be unlocked for the next two tanks, which is good, because, you know, downside is it's a shit gun. What I mean by that is, I have no idea why Wargaming seems to think that 135 Alpha is acceptable in any way, shape or form at tier 7. When you see tier 7s, tier 8s and tier 9s, you think 135 Alpha, less than a light tanks gun, is acceptable, Wargaming. That's for a different rant. I'm going to talk to you about how to make yourself a better player. And it doesn't start with anything complicated, other than going to the top, see this little gear cog, click it, go to settings. Now, in your settings, okay, you just look through and read, like disable chat with allies. Really good if you get tilted. I'm going to enable that to stop me getting tilted at my freaking enemies. Even though I already have a filter mod that filters my chat, so I can't swear at the enemy. It will say, sorry, filter, da da da. I'm still going to add that. You can even hide the spam, so you get that one player that's constantly going, help, 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 help. This will go, listen, Linda, quiet, enough from you. Then you do accept friend requests, which I don't. Indicate communication on team panels, show sticky markers, da 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 da. There you go. And now this is, as you progress later on in the game, I'm going to assume you're new to the game, you've not got any kind of decent tanks or anything, so let's just stick with that as a philosophy. See the encounter battles, assault battles, grand battles. Leave grand battles off. It's great when you're at tier 10, not so much if you're not. It doesn't do anything. So if you don't have a tier 10 vehicle, this box shouldn't even be lit up. It should be grayed out. And leave maps under development grayed out, because most of those maps are buggy as fuck, have so many stupid things. I'm sorry, Wargaming, I do not work for you. I do not work for you. I'm not going to beta test your shit. Pay me and I will. So just stick with standard battles and maybe encounters. Leave assault off for now. And the reason why, again, I'm assuming you've power ground up and you're at to level tier 3, tier 4. So you will in fact now have encounter battles on. So yeah, play a few encounter battles. If you like them, leave them on. If not, this is where you come to turn them off. For the longest time, if I'm just grinding, all I used to do was just have standard battles. That's it. Just standard battles. No assaults, no grand battles, no encounters. In fact, I'm going to leave those off for now. Now, vehicle panels, again, you can do mods, get mod packs. Again, I'm going to explain the mod packs later on in the video. Enable battle recordings. This is for your replays. Okay. I have all. And display like my, yeah, I have those. So yes, now this is where you got to be careful, because your replays folder, if you play a lot, and I mean a lot, will get full, and you will have to empty out your replay folders after each and every patch, because those folders remain full but don't get any new replays added to them. Those new replays get added to the new patched replay folder. So what it does is it takes a copy of your old replay folder with all those old replays in there and then just puts them in cold storage, i.e. leaves them on your hard drive, taking up hard drive space. I actually had to delete 6 or 7 patches worth of old replays that I couldn't use anymore, and I saved close to 12 gigs. 12 gigs! So, another little thing for you. Now, you can always reset the beginner tips as well. That is all something, so you're constantly reminding yourself of certain things that need to be done. Make sure map transparency is off, because you're going to need to use the map. I'll explain that later. Now, up top here, okay, we'll go back up to the top, show vehicle tier, this is for your battle interface, okay? Get rid of these bloody animated dog tag stuff. It's just annoying. Bling, battle commander, bling. Dick for brains, but bling, more. Just get rid of them. They're annoying. Don't bother with that. Don't bother with that. Again, you can get a mod pack that automatically disables these, but I'm doing it in the options as well, just for you guys, for the video. Enable optic effect in sniper mode. No. Show your, okay, enable dynamic camera. No. Again, you can do a mod pack for that. Mod pack basically lets you scroll all the way out and scroll back in. Stabilization for sniper mode, no. Enable server reticle. You can enable this and then press F2, I believe it is, in game, and you'll get a second reticle. That's where the server sees your gun pointing. Okay. Other than that, it doesn't help you hit. It doesn't help you snipe. It's one of those, hey, Wargaming, where the hell did my shell go? And then you enable server reticle, watch the replay, and you realise according to the game, your barrel's over there, but you're aiming right here. Go figure, because the servers are just dog shit. Leave all the rest of these on. Leave the rest of these on. And yeah, I always get rid of the rotating garage thing because it's just annoying. Now just click apply. There you go, it's applied. Graphics. Now, if you are a shit player using a potato, pay attention. Go your graphics quality. Slide it down to minimum. Hit apply. You're welcome. If you're like me and you're a gigachad and you have a really good system, whack that sucker up to ultra. I'm playing this game on 4K. High definition 4K is what I'm playing this game at. So if you want to know why my game looks completely different from yours, now you know why. Then click apply. You're welcome. Sounds. This is where you can configure your... Now I've got a mod pack that gives me Max von Krieger's voice for my crew, with the exception of certain tank commanders that are unique and you cannot override those voice packs. Okay, but normal America, Poland, Germany, whatever crew are all replaced with Max von Krieger. Same as my Sixth Sense sound. I'm a huge Metal Gear fan. Sue me. That is my You've Been Spotted. Again, I need to change that to... Oh, that's right, I didn't install that. Anyway, point is, go to voice chat, go to your microphone, push talk, set it up. You can set it up to any button you want. If you've got a mouse that has multiple buttons, multiple side buttons, you're in the money. Unfortunately, this mouse is an ambidextrous one. I'm a lefty. I need a left-handed mouse, but I can't find a really good left-handed gaming mouse to save my life. I found one the MMO Razer Naga edition from 2014, but people still want £200 for it, and I'm not paying £200 for a fucking used mouse. Because left-handed gamers get fucked over. Anyway, so you can enable voice chat or disable it. I always leave it on the off chance that you do get put into a platoon with a person that has a fucking brain in them and knows how to use a mouse. Now, controls. This is the most important, okay? When you see sensitivity, do not crank it all the way up. There's a reason why you shouldn't do that. If you have a good mouse, which, let's be honest, some of us, the first thing we do when we get a PC is we buy a really good mouse and keyboard. Usually the cheap ones with the RGB and the funky... In fact, I think I've got one of those cheapy ones up there. In fact, I do. Yes, I go through a lot of mice. As I said, left-handed. I try to find a mouse that's comfortable. You usually get this cheapy one with a keyboard from Amazon. Okay? This has side buttons, but again, only on the right. But this also has a sensitivity selector in the middle, so you can select your DPI. If you want more, use the hardware level, not the game. Okay, this one, oh god, I forgot, this was a beta test product. The company contacted me, Zotac contacted me and said, hey, do you want to beta test this new mouse? I was like, yeah, sure, but you do realize I'm left-handed. I mean, it even lets you put individual weights and stuff in it. It was proper for esports, but they don't do left-handed models. So this one was way too small. Loved this mouse, really did. Lots of really good. It has multiple side buttons, all up on the front, not on the sides. But the problem is, my hand is too fucking big. So what I might do is gut this and make a custom shell and use the guts from this in that custom shell. So that's a possible project idea. And then, this is the Naga Razer. What I was telling you about, it costs 200 quid. This one's great, but the scroll wheel on it is knackered. I have no idea why, but every time I scroll up, press up on my scroll wheel, it scrolls me down twice. And then when I scroll down once, it scrolls me up twice. It's inverted. Even though I've checked the settings, checked everything, checked the scroll wheel, taken it apart countless times, it still gives me issues. But look at all those side buttons, which is good. Reason why is because you can set things like and like I said, you can do things like set your consumables to an instant button, so you don't have to press 4 and 4 and then 5 and 5. You can just go side button, done. In this case, indicate position. This tells your team, if you're an artillery player, where you're about to shoot, or this tree's fallen down, or it. I constantly use this button to communicate with people, especially tank destroyers, who are sitting on the red line, doing nothing. Don't be that player. And then my reload. Now this, if you're using an auto loader and you use this, will tell you how many shells you have left in your magazine. So if you lose track, okay, so if you think you fired 2 shots instead of 3, you can press that and go, ding, you've got one shell remaining. So you know whether if you want to spend it or reload. See what I'm saying? Smart. Be smart. Also, retreat, affirmative, negative. You can communicate with your team. Okay. Hell, you can even set it up so that you can hold down, instead of hold down the Z key and moving your mouse around to give a quick command, you can just hold down the side button on your mouse and just slide your mouse and click done. You never have to take your hands off your WASD keys. You're a lot more efficient. But at the same time, stay away from messing around with the sensitivity settings. They're there for a reason. Yes, granted, if you've got a cheapy mouse that is absolutely junk, then yes, adjust these accordingly. But however, you've got to realize you're adjusting these for a sensitivity of one tank in particular. But that will apply to all tanks. Not a smart move. So, that said, let's take a look at the reticle. Now, this is a big controversy. The reason why I say this is because it doesn't matter what bloody settings you select or anything like that. Like right down here, containers, that tells you how many shells you've got in your magazine. I think this is gaudy and ugly and hideous, and it looks like, what am I doing? Am I playing Wolfenstein? or am I playing World of Tanks? Okay? It's just gaudy. So I always whack them back and then just press my mouse button up and it tells me how many shells I've got. It also tells my teammates how many shells I've got so they know whether or not to push or not. So again, there are reasons and methods to my madness. Okay, now, the reason why I say, now, this is another one, outlining. Always go to this settings, okay, please. And I've got non-penetrable area. Okay, so if it's not covered, it's an area that I can possibly pen. So I'm going to aim in that area. Unpenetrable area, okay, areas I can't pen, there you go. I can't because they're behind a rock. I can because he's not behind a rock. It's that simple. Then apply. You're welcome. You're going to make your life so much more easier. And always set it to simplified. If you put it on standard, it's going to highlight guns that you can't hit. It's going to highlight all the little extra add-ons on that tank. Alright? Which don't mean shit. But if you do that, it only highlights the areas that has a hitbox. Okay? Which means if it has a hitbox, you can hit it. You can possibly penetrate it, you can possibly do damage, you can possibly kill the tank, and you become the fucking Giga Chad that you are. Okay? Nice. Now, artillery. Yes, I do play artillery. I know. It's not my main. Oh, exactly. I only play artillery to get the stupid missions. If the missions did not require artillery, I wouldn't have artillery. It's that simple. But they do. And you're probably thinking, what missions are those? I'll get to that later on in the video. Now, don't worry about all of this. If you're not an arty player, none of this matters, so you can skip it. But if you are an arty player, these are my settings. This is where I leave it at. Okay, sniper mode. Literally identical to my view. The only difference is in sniper mode, it tells me the what magnification I'm in and still at what distance. That's it. Now, the reason why I have the distance... I'm going to sneeze again. The reason why I have the distance is because it helps me understand the shell deviation. Fucking hell, I hate sneezing. Now, shell deviation is something that happens in the game because they call it dispersion, which is horseshit. Okay, I'm sorry. Shell dispersion has not been a thing since World War One. It's just not. Either the shell is going to roughly go in the same direction of where the fuck you're aiming, or it's not. Okay? Former tank driver here. Studied as a gunner. Studied as a TC. Studied as a radio operator. I literally learned to feel every position in my Challenger 1. Okay? Do you understand that? In modern armor, all crew learn all crew's positions in case I get knocked out or I'm unconscious or I'm taken out. They just grab my corpse, throw it over. Someone else sits in there, grabs a bucket, scoops up what's left of me, puts it in the bucket, throws the bucket away, starts the engine up, and drives the fucking tank away. Okay? That's it. We all learn each other's positions on the off chance that one of us is taken out. In World of Tanks, it's called Brother in Arms. So, when I'm telling you this from a tanker, natural real world tanker's perspective. Okay? We always leave our optics damn near identical. Okay, so you can pick whatever one suits you, things of that nature. Now, markers. I would like a fucking mod that will lower the hit point bar down to where the actual fucking tank is. Not 50 feet up in the air, where most people are going to naturally look up at. And while you're naturally looking up at it, the tank goes by it or the tank gets a shot in, etc, 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 etc. Can we please get a fucking mod or an ability to lower the fucking bar to where just above the turret is? Can we? Please. That's all I'm asking. Because I'm sick and tired of having a hit point bar so far up in the fucking sky that you lose whatever chance or whatever shot you could have possibly have had on that target. It's annoying. But of course, we don't get that ability. Now, I get rid of the vehicle icon. I get rid of the vehicle tier. I just keep the tank's name so I know what the tank is. I don't even take the player's name because I don't care. Health indicator, again, leave it as a bar. Auto aim indicator, leave that as it is. Under alternative, again, it's the same. The only difference is I'm now even going to leave the auto aim thing. Auto aim is an ability that you can use. You learn it in the controls. Mine's set to Q. So I tap Q, especially on a light tank, while I'm driving like a maniac, and I just tap, shoot, 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 shoot. If I hit a pen, great. If I don't, so what? I'm harassing the guy. I'm annoying them. They chase me. My team bum rushes them. Zerg rushes them, kills them. Boom, I win. Haha. It works. It's a tactic, and it works. Now let's take a look at things like our team. Again, don't really care about any of this. You can modify this if you truly want to. I don't really care. Same as destroyed tanks. Don't really care. As you can see, they're dead. I don't care. I just don't care. They're dead. They're not going to help me. Now, battle notifications. This is another one that can be quite misleading. What I mean by that is you'll see something like the orange and assume you've been hit or you're on fire, especially if you're coming from games like War Thunder. You're not. It just means you've been critically hit in roughly that direction. These are not accurate as to exactly where they are. It's just somewhere in this region, and somewhere in this region, they're never accurate. Okay, even if you go to standard, where it's donk, 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 or advanced, where it tells you who shot you. I always say leave it on advanced. The reason why is because you know, okay, the M103 is over there somewhere. The T57 is over there somewhere. The T34 is over there somewhere. So you know, okay, because you've blocked 400, you've taken a crit and you've taken 400, okay, you know, okay, what tank would you angle at? Would you angle at the tank who's got a shot and penetrated you, or would you angle at the tank who's critting you and keeping you there? See? You got to think, by the way, 9 times out of 10, if you're seeing these three tanks, you're in a tier 8 and up tank. So, yeah, 9 times out of 10, when I see these three tanks, I'm in my Tiger Mouse, my Mouse, or my E100. So I just tilt, angle, 45 degrees, flick the bird. They can't pen me. Ha 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 ha. I win. But, so just don't bother with that. Now, events log. Now, events just shows you, you know, the event, like intuition, things of that nature, and the abilities, things like that. Damage received. This is mostly designed for who's damaged you and for how much you've blocked, things of that nature. There is a mod pack you can get that does the exact same thing. I have it installed, which is why I don't have them enabled here. Same as the battle log, I have a mod pack for all of this. Map border. Again, you can change these out to whatever you want. You know, and I mean, you can even get custom textures where it's literally just like a no sign or whatever, but it takes the immersion away. Now, battle score, again, I've got a mod pack for that, so I'm not going to talk about that. Now, let me talk about some other things. Now you've set your client up. Now you have the tank that you want. Okay, let's look at the one thing that is very, very, very rarely talked about and is briefly only glossed over when it comes to vehicles, and that is your crew. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the crew on my VK3002M. They have 2 sets of skills. Okay, you would click on either the books. If you have books, I've got 1 book. Okay, you can spend it. You click study. You've now just given them all 20,000 EXP. Okay, I suggest you don't spend any book whatsoever, at least until one of those skills is at 50% or more, because if that skill is at 50% or more, okay, now there's a little trick you can do. Wargaming won't patch it because they can't. It's part of the EXP mechanic, which is if that crew has 0%, like it's their very first skill, when you use a training booklet, it will pump that skill immediately to 50%. Instantly. Bling! To 50%. Okay? So before you've even done a battle, you can just go spunk and your crew's at 50%. There you go. Little tip for you. I don't believe in purchasing these manual books for 250,000 experience for 2 million credits is not worth it. It's just not worth it. So, crew skills. Now, I'm going to use... You know what? I'm going to use one of my other tanks that has a lot more skills on it. Where is it? Here you go. Let's look at my British Duketon T95. Now, you will come up... There will be events, especially battle pass seasons, things of that nature, where you can buy crew with high skills. Okay, what I mean by that is if you click on here, which is the battle pass, okay, I'm currently 28. Yes, this isn't an improved battle pass. I don't improve my battle passes till near the end of the seasons, and I improve it, and I get all of them in one great big rush for a little dopamine hit. But you can go to Battle Pass Vault, and in the Vault, you're going to see things like 3D styles. Now, these are cool if you want to tar up higher tier tanks. I really would like to see some lower tier styles for like tier 5s, tier 6s, tier 7s, and whatnot, because there are some really good modders out there that make custom styles for lower tier tanks. Okay, you can find them online. Just type in Water Tanks mods. You'll go to either the main mod page for them or to other places. Now, be careful. There are some mod packs that are illegal, namely the War Pack. War Pack is an illegal mod pack because it contains illegal mods that will get your account banned. Do not use it. Don't. You will get banned. Now that that's out of the way, click on crew members, and here you go. You're going to see some crew members. Now these little plus signs means that these crew can learn a new skill. Now skills is what stacks on top of skills, if you know what I'm saying. Now you can buy them for gold, 2,250 gold. A little bit on the expensive side if you ask me. If they were maybe 1,500 gold, absolutely. But 2,250, no. Or you can use 600 of these little bond tokens. Now, I've got 300 so far from the very first Battle Pass. Now, if you do good in the Battle Pass and even complete some of the legendary Battle Pass missions, because while you're doing the Battle Pass, a legendary mission will pop up at random. If you complete that legendary mission, you will get additional tokens. Okay? Now, hear me out. Once you have enough tokens and you buy the crew that you want, I have a specific style and look. Because if you look at now these are my medium tanks, but if you look at my tank destroyers, and I'm going to take these off, okay, this is my Yagi. Yes, that's a lot of crews, but my Scorpion G has a lot more. In fact, this commander is maxed out to the point where he's earning booklets that can be spent on other factions. This is why I love the Scorpion G. The Scorpion G is one of my favorite tank destroyers. Okay, it's a Panther tank destroyer. Say no more. With a turret. Bing! Winner, winner, chicken dinner. But point is, as you can see, you get you get skills. Now, each one of these skills has its own unique reason and valid reason. Now, let's take a look. Okay, Brother in Arms. Okay, when fully trained, all your crew members increase its crew efficiency bonus for the entire crew by 5%. Downside. Every crew member must have Brother in Arms. Do you understand that? Not just one crew member, all of them. If you've got a tank that has 12 crew members, all 12 must have it. If you've got a tank that has 3 crew members, all 3 must have it. Cool. Now, that only works with specific skills. What I mean by that is if you go to a loader, where's my loader? Oh, loader's right here too. Max is also my loader on the Scorpion G. Now on the loader, okay, we're going to take a look at loading skills. Skills like intuition, perfect charge, and ammo tuning. If you know, I actually have a tank destroyer that has 2 crew. That would be my Yagi. See, my Yagi has 2, which you can't see because I'm in the bloody way. Move me. Okay, there we go. As you can see, my Yagi E100 has 2 loaders. Okay, un, deux. Now, if you look, they're both power level in the same group of skills. Then you're thinking, that's kind of a detriment. And it is, in theory. Now, bear in mind, I'm saying this in theory. But they stack. What I mean by that is, if we go to Arthur, hello Arthur, and we click on ammo tuning, it clearly states the perk comes into effect when trained to at least 1% and increases its effectiveness until further training. However, see what it says, if 2 loaders have this perk, the average value of its training level is applied. So, because both my guys are learning those 2 skills, it stacks. But when one of my crew reaches 100, I go to the other loader and reset him with different skills. Because it's now at max ability. It can't go over 100%. Okay, so even if it's 50 and 50, that still makes 100. So you keep it. Right now, that's my 100. Okay, so when one reaches 100, the one who's at the lesser number, I reset his skills. Okay, this is what helps you power level through certain skills in certain high tier tanks. So I will exchange it with close combat, because with my Yagi, I do like to get into the face of my enemy, and I really do like to hurt them. I treat my Yag Tiger like it's a turretless heavy tank, and I 9 times out of 10 destroy anything I'm looking at, because that's my playstyle. And skills like safe stowage, again, this perk can only be, see, again, average value, again, read what it says about the skills. An injured loader does not affect the perk's efficiency. If 2 loaders have the same perk, average value is used. See, average value is used. Again, this can also be bumped up by other internal equipment, and I'll get to the internal equipment in later on in the video. But the point is, guys, you can only use a max of 6 crew skills. There's 9 skills to pick from. You have to be specific. Okay? Don't just follow what Quickie or Max or me or anyone else says. This is for my playstyle. Your playstyle might be completely different. You might be a sort of Yagi 100 player that likes to snipe. Sorry. But trust me, with 0.3 accuracy, you're not sniping. Now, I'll show you a tank destroyer that you can snipe in. That would be this thing. And you want to know why? 0.25 accuracy. The amount of people that don't realize that I can actually hit the testicles of a mosquito at 400 meters. I'm hitting weak spots on super Pershings at 400 meters. Not that I need to, because I'm a fucking scorpion, but the point is I can, because that's how I set up my tank. Okay? You can do it. There are some tank destroyers out there that just, like, I question their existence. This says 0.26, but it's not because of the shell velocity. Okay, the shell velocity on this thing is under, look, that's not, come on, 900 with a HE shell. Okay, but the regular AP shells are nowhere near. Don't even get me, look, under 800 for high explosive anti-tank? No. So that 0.26, you've now got to take into account distance. If you're leading a shot on a target that's moving, even if the shot is stationary, there's a higher chance due to the velocity change that it's going to drop, etc. etc. So that dispersion is quite misleading, especially for this tank. It's not for the Scorpion G because it has the velocity. Okay, you got to take into effect higher velocity shells means you can snipe, but then the dispersion comes in on whether you're going to hit. There's a difference. Please learn that. Okay, and again, just because you've got a medium tank that says it's a sniper, looking at you, Leopard, it doesn't mean you have to sit on the red line. Now, sitting on the red line is when you sit so far back on the map, you can't go anywhere. You're at the map border edge. Okay? We all know those players. We all know those players. Sometimes you are that player. Stop it. Okay? Yeah, you can't do anything because you put yourself in that scenario. Always have an exit plan. Always have an exit plan. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Always have an exit plan. Okay, if you've got a tank that has mobility, have a friggin' exit plan. Go around the corner, see 4 or 5 tanks, go, nope, turn around and leave. Don't shoot, don't fight, just leave. Get out of there. Okay? 4 guns versus your 1 little gun. You're not going to win that. You are not Jesse James. You're not going to go, Amarak, 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 like the World of Tanks videos think that you can do. You can't. You can't. You can't. Okay? Those videos are staged. Okay? You're not Skills. You're not Cookie Baby. You're not, Ducky. You're not me. You're not Max. You're not... No. No, 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 no. And even they will tell you, 9 times out of 10, getting an ammo rack is just fucking pure luck. Okay? 5 versus 1 ain't gonna end well for you. Okay? So what you want to do is use your mobility. Realise, oh, hang on, there's only 5 enemy tanks left on the team, and there's 3 of you. You've lit up all 5. Flank! Hit them from behind. Move. Hit them from behind. Move. Hit them from behind. Now they're all dead. You won the fucking match. Why? Because you learned what your W key is. But instead, no. You chose to stay on the red line and do nothing. That's what I'm kind of talking about. And like I said, most people read where it says Sniper Tank Destroyer, gets a little pop-up that says vehicle with weak armor but decent gun, and it calls for an ambush tactic in most combat situations. No. No, because guess what? My Scorpion G, okay, says Sniper Tank Destroyer. No, I do not use it to ambush. I drive. I go with my heavies. Why? Because if I track an enemy heavy, it means my heavies have a higher chance of hitting the son of a bitch and knocking them out. And I get all that assistance EXP. In the forms of EXP and credits. How do you think I power leveled my commander so quickly? Think. You're welcome. Again, Achilles, Sniper Tank Destroyer. This thing has a, for its tier, if it's fighting tier 6s, tier 5s, go ham. Find a nice little spot, do what that little thing says. But there's nothing wrong with going where your heavies are, finding a position and being overwatch for your heavies. So if you see a flank going, you can hit the tanks that are trying to flank your heavies. Because guess what? They're showing you their flank. So you've popped them off. Your heavies are fine. Thank you. You're welcome. You've gained a ton of EXP, a ton of credits, and you're not lit. Oh, look. Here's the KV2, not even paying attention. Pop, 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 pop at 300 plus meters. Why? Because he's not going to see you. A KV2 is not going to spot you. If your camo is good enough and you're in a good enough position at 300 plus meters, that KV2 is as blind as Mr. Magoo. All Soviet tanks are at tier 6. Again, this is where you want to put in a little bit of education. Go to a tech tree. Okay. Look at what tank you fear the most. Oh, look, here's the KV2. Okay. Let's take a look at his stats, shall we? What, Mike, bear in mind, my KV2 has a good crew, but no optics, okay? And its max view range is 371. So even I would not be able to spot you. Bong, ow, bong, ow, bong, ow. Where is it? Bong, ow, bong, ow. I'm getting a rough idea. It's over there. It stopped shooting, so it's definitely over there. Bong, ow, bong, ow. What's over there now? Bong, ow. Did you see what I did? I stopped. I moved. I wasn't lit, but I moved. Bonk, ow, KV2's dead. All that juicy 900 and something hit points is mine now. You can be aggressive in a Sniper Tank Destroyer. You just have to know where and when. And yes, this is with a ton of abilities to increase my view range. I still don't have the ability to spot that Achilles or that M10 in a KV2. Know your enemies. And another thing, this is a mod pack, but look at the armor of the enemy tank. Okay, this is a KV2. Look, okay, if KV2 is looking at me head on, yeah, at 300 meters, right? So we'll go 300, and I shoot at him. Are you starting to see? Are you starting to see? Are you starting to see? See, honestly, that's where you should. That's where I aim on a KV2. If he's coming at me head on, that's where I aim. I aim right there, or I aim there, or I aim there. If he's angled, I aim here, or I aim here. Now, if you go to X-ray modules, this tells you where the modules are. Okay, that's the ammo rack. That's the fuel tank. That's the engine. Where I aimed in the middle, I'm hitting the engine. I'm hitting the driver. I'm hitting the radio operator. See, you can even hit the fuel tank. You can set a KV2 on fire from the front. It's going to take about 2 or 3 shots. In fact, it should take technically 4 with the Achilles. It should take 4. But you can do it. You just need to stop for a minute and think. Okay? You can do it. I believe in you. Now, we've got the client sorted. You're starting to understand about the crew. You understand about the game modes. Now, let me explain to the one that's going to teach you the most, and you're going to get the most rewards out of it, and it's actually not going to cost you a penny. Click on Random Battles, and click on either Topography or Stories. And you're thinking, what? If you go to Topography, this will teach you the maps. It'll teach you what map in particular that you're struggling on. And once you've learned it, you can go back and keep relearning it until you know that map like the f***ing back of your hand. And again, it's free. You actually get credits for doing this. Yes, Wargaming give you 50,000 credits per map. So that's 100, that's 200, that's 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. You can get 700,000 credits just for doing this. That's enough to get you a tier 4, tier 5, possibly even a tier 6 tank if it's on sale. What are you waiting for? It's literally right there, and it's going to teach you the ins and outs of the maps and what to do and what not to do. Okay? Go to the stories. Stories are usually changed once every 4 or 5 months, but it's a fun little game mode that you can play by yourself if you're waiting on friends to get out of work or off school or out of class or whatever, and you usually platoon up with them. Okay? Point is, guys, play smarter, not harder. Okay? That's all I'm asking. Just play smarter, not harder. Now, mod packs. These are some of the unique options I've got from my mod packs. Okay? Old school mod pack is to do with my being spotted in what direction, things of that nature, for when I'm a light tank. Battle hits. This will teach you, where you were hit and how did they pen, etc., etc. if you've played a game. I haven't played a game yet, so that's why that mod's not working. Now, unique 3D styles. These are what Wargaming give through each battle pass and possibly put up for sale, etc., etc. Sometimes there's even styles in here that are made by players that Wargaming like, and then pinch from that player and don't give that player any money. Fuck you, Wargaming. Alright? Well, this mod will enable all of them, and it is a client-side mod. Only you get to see it. It doesn't show it to anyone else unless you already own that 3D style. Then we've got mod configurator. This one is where you can, like I said, this is my aim mod, my aiming mod. Now, the better reticle mod, I can't seem to get it to work at all. I just can't for some reason. It's just not working, and I don't know why. Distance marker. This is what helps you with long range shooting, especially with artillery. It gives you a lead chance. It says, oh, shell flight time is 2.3 seconds. So I've got to think 2.5 seconds ahead of where that tank's going. So if that heavy tank's going in one direction, from down here to up here, I know if I aim here and shoot, he's going to go pity, 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 boom, and drive into my shell. Okay? But if he's stationary, I've got to say, okay, is he going to back off in that 2.5 seconds? 1,000, 2, 1,000, he hasn't backed off, shoot. Bomb. See what I'm saying? You've got to take into account, this mod helps me with that. And again, marks for gun dynamics calculation, that's for working out your marks of excellence. I don't really do marks of excellence, it's not my thing. I don't really care. Mind you, I am working on, I'm at 70% of getting my first mark of excellence on the Achilles. So yeah, like I said, you can do it. Okay, the Achilles mark of excellence is pretty freaking high. It's like 3,500, almost 4,000 damage. For a tier 6 is like unheard of. But you can do it, guys. Okay, you can do everything I'm talking to you about here, you can do. Okay? You can do it. You've just got to set your mind to it. Okay? And again, if you're in a tank that you don't like, it's going to reflect in your gameplay. Okay? You have to find a tank that you love, and that you love enough that you don't care if it survives the battle or not, because technically the very first tank you purchase is not the same tank that you have after a year or a week or a month or even after 2 games. Reason why, if you buy that tank, say I've just bought this Yagi E100, okay, I've just bought it, take it to battle, I get destroyed, I go back to the garage, my Yagi E100 gets returned to me, repaired. It's not the same Yagi E100 anymore, is it? Because all the parts that got blown off and destroyed, I had to buy new parts for. Think about this. If you buy a mop and you've had that mop for 20 years and you've replaced the handle 5 times and you've replaced the head of the mop 5 times, is it the same mop? No, it's not. Same thing. Okay? If you love that tank and you know that that's your philosophy of, I know it's not the same tank anymore, but I still fucking love this tank because it's my tank. Don't you dare touch my tank. Mine. Okay? And you treat the tank like that, i.e. you stay on the red line, you do nothing, you don't help your tank, and you suck, and you lose credits hand over fist, and you think, what? That's why. The Princess Leia said it best. Oh, Darth, the more you tighten your grip around this, around the universe, the more star systems will slip through your fingers. Same fucking philosophy. Okay? The more you think that your tank is just my tank and no, it's a team game. Play it like a fucking team game. Okay? If you see your heavies going in one direction and all your heavies going in one direction, and you're in a heavy assault tank destroyer, go with them. They're roughly the same speed as you, maybe a little bit faster. So by the time they get there and they're bogged down and they can't do anything, I'm an assault tank destroyer. You ain't hurting me, bruh. You're just going to tick me off. So I'm going to go, and what do most heavy tanks players do when they see a Yagi E100? That's their sphincters sucking in their DX racer chair because they've just seen a Yagi E100 just without a care in the world. Oh, hello. I'll take that 1100 hit points, thank you very much. And I don't even look back at them. I don't even look back, and why? Because I've got my allies behind me. They're going to go, oh, hello, Zerg, dead, move on. I literally treat my Yagi E100 like Captain America does his shield. Whoosh, bonk. Whoosh, bonk. Same thing. It's an assault tank destroyer. It is meant to assault, not sit on its ass and do nothing. If you want that, ta-da! Steyr Waffenträger. 88mm gun that's on the Tiger 2, but a tank destroyer, low profile, really okay camo, not the best, but good camo, snipe away. Pew, 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 pew. I belong on the red line. Pew, 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 pew. I've got no speed. Pew, 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 pew. I was an afterthought tank put in by Wargaming. Pew, 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 pew. Pretty much, that's all it is. Same as your Waffenträger. Does not have the power to weight ratio to get past that of a leaf blower. Okay, but it doesn't mean you stay at the base. If you know, okay, let me put it to you like this. Okay, we'll go to topography for a second. If you know, and we'll use one map in particular. Here, we'll look at mines. If you know, okay, that on mines, yeah. If you know that light tanks and medium tanks go pili 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 right up here and then go in here and then die, wouldn't it make sense if you are a slow ass tank destroyer to go wait here, try and get some shots, or go wait here, try and get some shots, try and get some shots, try and get some shots, try and get some shots. Oh wow, did I just teach you how to play your own freaking tank? Yeah, I did. Or bum 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 bum. Try and get some shots. 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 Bum 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 bum. Try and get some shots. 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 It's not hard. It's not hard. And if you got friends in water tanks, I don't, because nobody likes me. Literally, I have no friends. No one likes me. Start up a training room. Yeah, it's going to cost you about 10,000 credits a game, but you can make this 10,000. You can make that 10,000 back. Do you understand? Please tell me that some of you are relating to what I'm saying and go, oh. Because that's the whole idea of this video. This video is designed to help you elevate yourself. I'm not saying that you yourself are a shit person, or that you yourself are a shit player and you should quit. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying to you is stop struggling. You're only struggling because you don't have the right mindset. And the mindset is work smarter, not harder. Okay? Well, you see these little missions here. Cause 5 damage to 5 vehicles. Do 1,500 damage back. Cause 7 to 7 vehicles. Okay? Here's a hint. Okay? You'll get those in time. Okay? All those are for the battle pass. Don't worry about those, okay? Because there's a lot more harder missions than those, and that's the campaigns. Now, when you start doing campaigns, you're going to get a free tank after the campaign. You think, oh, free's good, and it is. The Stuggy 4 is not a bad little Stug. It's not. It's not a bad little Stug, but it has its issues. I'm currently getting the T28 HTC. Now, as you can see, tank destroyers are done. Heavy tanks are done. SPGs are about to get done. Again, this is the only reason why I have SPGs, is to do these missions. That's it. It's the only reason, is so I can do these missions. Okay? Light tanks, almost. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind on light tanks. Same with Maiden. This one I'm struggling with, which is the fire one. Again, it's getting harder and harder to set enemy tanks on fire. It really is, mostly because of configurations and various other things, and reinforced engines, reinforced fuel tanks. It is getting a lot harder, especially at low to mid tier. To even at higher tier, it's even worse, because most medium tank guns just don't either have the penetration or the alpha to actually do it, or I'll set the fire but not have the 1,500 hit points, or I'll have the 1,500 hit points but not the fire. Can this just be an either or, please? But no, you won't do that, so it sucks. They add missions like that are almost impossible, like this one. Do 2.2. I can do 2.2. That's not a problem. And then 14, I believe, is destroy 4 enemy vehicles and do a minimum of 2k damage. Okay. 15 is 1,000 points of damage to enemy tank destroyers and destroy 2 enemy tank destroyers. Problem with that is, you'll figure out when you're doing the missions yourselves, guys. And these missions are free. You can do these missions. It doesn't cost you anything. No gold to buy in. No nothing. You can just go in, start with the Stuggy, pick what classes you enjoy, whether it be medium tanks, heavy tanks, tank destroyers, etc., etc. But understand, you will need one of everything. So you'll need a light tank, a medium, a heavy, a tank destroyer, and an artillery piece. You will need all 5, okay? And you'll need to do all 15 missions in each, and then you will unlock the Stug. You will unlock the T28 HDC. You will unlock the T55A. You will unlock the Project 260. Project 260 is the hardest one to unlock. It really is. Mostly because, and a lot of players, back in the day when team damage was a thing, a lot of people used to team kill Object 260 players because they realized that they were just giga chads and all they did was just the missions. They were only in it for themselves, if that makes sense. So now you've got that done. So I only need, like I said, I've only got a few quick missions left to do, but at the same time, I'm also trying to get, my goal is to get, my goal is to get 200 million credits, just because I want to get 200 million credits. And like I said, it's just a goal I'm getting. And so I am playing, a bunch of low tier and a bunch of high tier. I mix it up. I even do a 0 to hero, which is where I pick a tech tree that I've already got unlocked pseudo, so Germany, England, and I will go from tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 3 to tier 4 to tier 5 to tier 6 to tier 7 to tier 8 to tier 9 to tier 10, but only after I win a game. So if I win a game in Cruiser 1, I go to 2. Then, you see what I'm saying? It's called a 0 to hero. I go from 1 to... I do it mostly my Germans, because I've got a whole bunch. So I literally just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And If I don't have the tank anymore, I rebuy the tank, etc., etc. Just to do the 0 to hero, and I do that live over on Kick and over on Twitch. So, and it's on Aces and Eights on Twitch, and it is DeceptiveCobras on Kick. So, like I said, guys, I do that for fun and just to be entertaining and to remember a whole bunch of skills to keep you. You got to understand your skills, your muscle memory will fade, so you have to get back into the saddle. Okay. Anyway, so I've explained controls, I've explained mods, I've explained crews, I've explained maps, I've explained literally everything and anything you can think of. Now I'm going to explain to you about resources and resource management. Now, if you are smart and you know what you're doing, okay, you will know that there are certain tanks in World of Tanks that don't require premium ammo. They don't require premium ammo. And those, believe it or not, are majority medium tanks. And the reason why is because medium tanks, a lot of the time, have the ability and mobility to create angles to get side shots and rear shots and to go after tanks equal to or lesser than them. If you do end up having to come across and you're the last guy and it's like 4 enemy heavy tanks, again, what did I say? Break contact, flank, shoot them in the rear, break contact, flank, shoot them in the rear, break contact. I've done that so many times in my Panther, okay? In my Panther, that I damn near unlocked everything, and I'm at 67. So I really don't have much left to get into the Panther 2, which is tier 8. And I'm sorry, but a tier 8 Panther that has sub 250 alpha, it's just ridiculous. Wargaming, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.